None of us wants to get into an auto accident, but since we all share the road with drivers who may not be as careful as we are, crashes can happen. And if someone is hurt, your insurance coverage can make all the difference in the world. Scott Smith is an attorney whose expertise is personal injury. He is joining me with lots of great advice for all of us. And I really want to start, Scott, by talking about, this is your passion. I want to know why you do this, why you are so invested into helping people.
Robin, I grew up in a family of lawyers, at least my father. He was a lawyer, then became a judge. At one time, the oldest judge, active judge, sitting in Columbus, or in Ohio. So at a very early age, I was immersed in the law because my dad would come home and talk about it, and it sort of intrigued me. I do what I do because I'm an underdog fan. I like the underdog.
I like it.
And what I do represents the underdog. So it just comes natural to me.
And how does it feel? Last weekend we talked about a historic case. I mean, there are lots of things that you have done that make a big difference as you represent the underdog, I should say. How does that make you feel? Just, as a person in this kind of profession.
It makes me feel good. I get to help somebody. I try to put them back to where they were before the crash. Taking on the big guy is a good feeling when you win.
Yeah.
Because we don't always win when we take on the big guy, the big insurance companies, the big corporations. Most of the time we lose.
But you try.
But
and
we
you're
try.
there.
And you
right?
don't stop, and you keep fighting.
Exactly. All right, today we're going to get into a little bit about something, involved in all of our policies, our insurance policies, in regards to medical payments. So when we're in an accident, what should we first think about as far as our policy and being prepared when it comes to having medical payments and insurance to pay for that?
Well, that's a tricky question, Robin. A lot of times our insurance agents sell us auto insurance that has in it a premium we pay for called auto medical payments benefits. Most of us don't even know we have it. They just put it in there. And what it does is cover you up to a certain limit if you're in a crash and you're hurt and you need treatment and you have bills. And that is whether you caused the collision or whether somebody else causes the collision.
Well, are medical payments then automatically in every basic policy? Are these something we need to know about and ask about?
For some reason, insurance agents put it in every policy, but we don't have to have it. If you have good health insurance, you don't necessarily have to have it. If you want to trim your premium just a little bit, maybe you take that out because you have to tell your agent, do I have it? How much do I have? How much does it cost me? And if you have good health insurance, maybe you take it out.
Do you have any examples of maybe how somebody who didn't have enough, who didn't think about, spending a couple extra bucks to get the added insurance, it has really cost them?
Not really. Small injuries, and there's no injury that's really small, but let's assume you've got a sprain, strain, and you go to the emergency room and you get a dollar bill on your estimate or your invoice from the hospital. That insurance of medical payments may pay that, but if your health insurance is in effect, that would pay it too, and it's sort of double dipping from the medical provider standpoint. So not really.
Okay, so good to know. So what if you were on the flip side of this? You're hurt in an accident. It wasn't your fault. Is that where having somebody like you as an advocate would be able to help that victim get compensated from insurance, find out that, they don't have to be responsible for the bills that they didn't cause?
Well, that's an excellent question. It's a tricky wicket. For instance, medical providers have learned if you have medical payments on your auto insurance, they want that money because they have paid dollar for dollar. But if you have health insurance, they have to take that contractual rate that is not dollar for dollar. So the medical providers jump in and try to get your auto medical payments benefits when they should be taking your health insurance, and that's where I come in to help navigate through those waters. Depending on what the policy language, they may not be entitled to your auto medical payments. You keep that for copays, you keep it for deductibles.
And that's a smart and a good point, because just you talking about this, if I was in an accident, I certainly wouldn't want to be the one navigating those waters because they can get very muddy, very confusing. So your team, you guys are the experts. You can take this on and take that stress away from somebody who's trying to deal with getting better.
Absolutely. People have a sigh of relief once they find out that I know what I'm doing and that I can take care of it. All they have to do is get better. I'll take care of the rest.
All right. And of course, it all starts with giving you a call, visiting the website, Scott Smith Law Office. I want to thank you, Scott, for being with us.
Thanks, Robin.